Now, without any further ado, we're going on to the last part of this tutorial, the automation section. Very straightforward. So let's say, for whatever reason, we want our kick drum to get louder over time. We're going to click this parameter here, the volume. Now, if you come up here, actually, look up here. You see this line? When I move it down here, it moves up and down, yeah? So it's pretty logical to say that if you manipulate the shape of this line, this parameter down here will change. So let's go into the pointer mode and double click on the line at the very beginning of our clip. So you have a little dot. Drag it down. Negative infinity decibels, no sound. And you can see right here, you have this little pink square. It means that this parameter is being automated. Automating is what we call this process that we're doing right now, making parameters change by themselves without us touching them. Now we're going to do another dot at the end of our clip, pull it up, and you see we have this line right here. And you can see at the end, our volume is very, very loud. Let's make that a little bit less actually. Let's only go to 0 decibels. Okay, here we go. So now, over time, over the space of this clip, our bass drum is going to get louder and louder and louder along this curve. Pretty intuitive. And you can actually watch this value change as the clip plays. There it goes. Our kick drum's getting louder. And you can do this with literally anything that moves in Ableton. Let's do it with tempo. So we had down here in our master track, we can change the tempo. Let's start it where it is and go down to like 122. Yep, just like that. You can do it with time signature. You can pan any of the effects in our track here. You can change. You can do the auto filter, whatever. The world is your oyster. Just for an example, I'm going to use a very effective thing that we do a lot. What happened? It disappeared. There we go. So here's our drum rack. I just minimized it. And I'm going to put an auto filter on it. Here, let's actually get rid of this automation. Doesn't really make sense to have it, does it? Because that's not a very effective effect. It just makes the bass drum louder. It's kind of boring. But here you go. And what you can do to delete these little nodules here, you just double click. That's gone. Okay. Now I'll also get rid of the time because that doesn't really make sense. Okay. So now let's automate the filter on our drum rack. Let's grab an auto filter real quick. Pop it on over. We'll keep the low pass. And we're just going to automate the frequency. So click the frequency and set your nodules here. I'll pull this out a little bit just so we have more loop to work with. And we can come back down. Like so. Okay, there's our automation right here. We're automating frequency of the auto filter. You can watch it change. You actually watch this graphic move up as the ticker moves up this line. Now let's put a spectrum on that. We can see exactly what's happening. So you have a lot of low frequencies, almost no high frequencies. And as it moves up, we get more and more of that. Going away. There you go. So that's automation. Super easy. We'll get more into automation as we go to synthesis because it's a little bit more of a complicated process. But that's really how everything in electronic music changes. It's all through automation. Two terms that we need to be aware of automation is something I've been using, which is this. It's when a parameter changes in the track using something like this. This is called an automation curve. I'm sure you did automating in your GarageBand stuff with volume and pan and stuff like that. Modulating is the word we refer to the changing of the parameter as. So you could say that automation modulates parameters inside effects and synths and stuff like that. So when I'm saying, oh, what modulation is that? You're going to tell me exactly what parameter is changing. And if I say, show me your automation, then you're going to pull up this curve and you say, this is my automation. This is my automation curve. That's what it looks like. And the reason we call it automation is because you can do all of this by yourself. I can delete this automation, right click, delete automation, it's gone. And I can change this parameter by myself in real time. But we automate it because we can't do all of that at once, especially when we're performing live or when we're doing studio things. We don't need to be changing all these parameters by hand. That's why it's called automation. So I think that is about it as far as the effects, mastering, and automation tutorial goes. I know this was a long one. I'm sorry, guys, but it's very important. Make sure you practice, experiment with effects, experiment with automation, find out some cool things to do. Your next tutorial is synthesis, and after that, you'll be proficient in Ableton Live, and you'll be able to start doing your things on your own. Until next time, see you later.